everyone, it's Lighthouse Angel here. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining me. It's Monday again, right? And I've got a exciting reading for you today. It's actually coming out as like a work read. So, take what resonates, leave the rest behind, but that's what it's looking like to me. I've already pulled the overall energy for the reading, and then I'll pull messages. I'm not going to pull any more additional cards, but I'm going to pull some messages from the Lighthouse box and then close it up with a couple of cards at the end, okay? I didn't get any downloaded messages today or this weekend to bring to you at the beginning of the reading, so we'll just get right in it. But on this channel, we focus on taking you from zero to hero in your own life, giving you the tools and information to grow and expand and come in alignment with the best version of yourself, okay? So let's go and get started. We've got two animal spirit cards. The first one is Be Community, okay? And it says, you are a powerful creator. Your work blesses everything you touch. Be open to receiving sweetness. You are the queen of abundance, okay? And then we got the abundance card here. So, and I didn't read any of these cards before, I let the divine pick them, and here we are, okay? So we've got a double confirmation here about abundance. So, you could be receiving, we also have an investment card here. So someone might want to invest in you, or you're going to receive abundance as an investment. But we'll keep going, get more clarification here. It says, it's the bison spirit. It says, sacred buffalo, cloak me in your wisdom. Keep me warm through the storms of life. Fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and prayer. Okay. Now, what I'm getting with this is that says community, and I feel like on this card, although it says abundance, right? And abundance can be not just money, it could be however anybody defines abundance in their life. Not everybody defines money as abundance, right? It could just be a life full of goodness, right? Keep me warm through the storms of life, teaching me the way of gratitude and prayer. And through gratitude and prayer, you get into that energy of joy, peace, harmony, divine light, and that is abundance, okay? So it's not necessarily always money, so keep that in mind, but it's also an energy, a feeling, right? But what I'm really getting this, it's like, it says, keep me warm. So it's like, and we have investment. So maybe somebody wants to invest in your idea. Maybe a community wants, but this is talking about something that you're creating here. Okay. I'm hearing you stand out. That's what I'm hearing. You stand out. So something you're doing, you're standing out. Okay. All right, and then we've got things are going to be turned in your favor. People that were against you all of a sudden will be for you. Ideas, creativity, promotion contracts are all going to come into your hands. What I'm getting with this card, it's like they're seeing your truth now. They're finally seeing your truth. Maybe there was, because it says the people that were against you all of a sudden will be for you. I mean, maybe they didn't believe in you, or they believe someone else's false information about you, right? But somehow, something that you're doing has like flipped the script, and now they are interested in your ideas, creativity, now they're interested in you. But my question is it too late? something, if something comes back around and all of a sudden they're flipping their script, my advice to you is why, and also they better be coming to you with the truth as why now they have a sudden change of heart, right? Okay. Focus on what is important to you. Don't give your time or energy to your worries, as this would only amplify them. Focus on what matters to you most. With every thought, you are creating your future. Focus on what is important to you. Don't give your time and energy to your worries, because that only amplifies them. I've talked to you on this channel about your thoughts, your words, and your energy, right? What you give that to amplifies in your life. So if you're worried about money, then you're going to get more lack. If you're focusing on abundance, you're focusing on financial security, you're focusing on your vision board, you're focusing on what you want, then that gets amplified, right? You actually get that the energy of those things gain momentum. That's what I'm hearing. Gain momentum, right? You don't want momentum given to what you don't want. So you need to make sure that you don't give, your worries any power, right? Any energy, right? You just give that to God, right? Release that, right? Release those worries to Him and let Him handle those. And then focus on your path, your purpose, your goals, right? What you're trying to create for your future, what's on your vision board, right? So then after I felt like this had something to do with career, because it talked about somebody coming back around and now wants to invest in you, I got bright idea. So they may now see that you have a bright idea. Maybe they thought your idea was stupid or not worth investing in, but then maybe you showed something or did something or presented something that now all of a sudden they want to invest in you. Could be the story, I'm not sure, But something caused a reaction for things to turn around. So it could be that you just came up with a new idea, right? And now they want to invest in that. But my main question is, why didn't they see it from the very beginning? That's just something, I don't know. It says, have an innovative new inspiration, test new ideas, and break out fast. Take action on your ideas. So whatever you have a bright idea on, you need to take action on it. It's something that's innovative, something that's a new inspiration. Maybe maybe you showed something that they saw as a bright idea that they want to inspire and test it and see if it works, right? And they want you to take action on this. And then I got investment, so maybe they want to invest in this idea. Okay. It says investments made will have positive results that will bring prosperity. Invest wisely. Okay. So I feel like somebody wants to invest in your idea. Okay? And maybe when someone says things are going to be turned in your favor, people that were against you all of a sudden will be for you. I feel like I'm hearing they saw you in the wrong light, or they believe what someone else was saying about you, or something of like that nature. Right? Maybe I'm hearing block your blessings. Somebody was trying to block your blessings. That's what I'm hearing. And then we got, blessed are the peacemakers. These are two scriptures, okay? So I pulled two. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Matthew 5:9. Okay. So maybe there's someone coming in, I understand the scripture, right? God wants peacemakers, right? He wants people to bring in peace to the world, to situations. I understand this scripture, but I'm looking at it also when it comes to this reading, and I'm feeling like maybe someone's flipping the script and they want to come make peace. I'm getting that as well. Okay. But, if that's the story when it comes to this, then they better come to you with the truth, right? Direct my footsteps according to your word. Let no sin rule over me. Psalm 119, verse 133. And we have 11, 9, 13, 33. Those could be significant. And then we have 5 and 9 over here. Direct my footsteps according to your word. Let no sin rule over me. Yeah, this is following in God's footsteps, following in Jesus' footsteps, and not letting sin rule over your life, right? When we have those thoughts, those impure thoughts or triggers of the shadow side, right? The devil energy, right? You need to make sure that you immediately uproot those seeds, right? Get rid of those thoughts, get rid of taking action, right? I'm hearing choosing the higher path, right? Choosing the higher path, that's what I'm hearing. Okay? Because, no matter how close you raise your, no matter how close you get to God, how high you raise your vibration and stay in alignment, you still are going to get triggered by negative energies, by people who are going to try to pull you away from your path, right? So you got to keep standing firm and not letting any sin rule over you, right? Choosing the higher path and releasing any triggers, any temptations. As I'm hearing, any temptations, right? Because, right, you're ready to elevate, grow, receive this abundance, right? You've got bright ideas here. People want to invest in, and you don't want to get pulled backwards, right? You want to keep moving forwards, right? Because you are, it also says on here, powerful creator, right? So you come with a lot of bright ideas. I'm hearing out of the box. Like you operate, all of your ideas are out of the box. That's what I'm hearing. And that's awesome, right? Because that's what makes you stand out. Your ideas stand out because you're always thinking outside of the box. Where everybody else is, a lot of people are trying to copy what someone else has and taking the easy route, right? But you are about thinking different, thinking unique, thinking outside of the box, right? And someone sees this and they want to invest in it, okay? But don't focus on your worries here, okay? And if you've started some kind of creative project, okay, it's going to be successful and keep moving forward, even if it's moving at a slow pace, right? It's that slow pace that's building that solid foundation, okay? You just need to keep going, okay? I'm also hearing you bring light to the situation. Take that, how's that resonates, but that's what I'm hearing. You know, and that's funny, we have a light bulb here, right? Maybe something you did or something all of a sudden like turned the light on for somebody. I'm hearing you are the light as well. But let's get some information from the Lighthouse box. But keep moving forward on your ideas and remember, okay, as you get these downloaded ideas, as the divine, guides you and gives you these ideas, write them down. Don't share them with anyone, because you want to make sure that they only contain your energy, right? That you don't have other people's opinions, thoughts, and energy put on your ideas, because it will actually change how you think about them, right? And you don't want anybody to get in the way of any of these out of the box ideas, okay? Because when you're very creative and you have these I'm just keep hearing out of the box ideas, is that most people are in the box, right? Small-minded, only thinking, they want to put everything in life in a box, right? But you operate outside of that. So if you take your ideas to them, most likely they're going to be like, well, that's crazy, or that doesn't make any sense. That's not going to get off. And then it starts putting that negativity on your idea. And then next thing you know, you don't pursue it, when it might have been, amazing idea that the world can benefit from, right? It could be even like an idea that gets people, to think, to come out of the box. I'm hearing come out of the box. That's what I'm hearing. So, just keep your ideas to yourself. Work on them, work with them with the divine, and continue to write things down, and he will guide you on and you'll also know by listening to your intuition when the time is to take action. But when you are creating out of the box ideas, okay, it's just best to work on them and then put them out there, so that way nobody, tries to downplay your ideas, right? Or even copy them, steal them, or anything like that. Okay. So many people have ideas and then they take it to people because they're excited, and then, and who they thought would be excited about their idea, all of a sudden, no, that's not, I think that's a terrible idea, or that's not going to work. You really should rethink that. When reality is that it's just an out-of-the-box idea that is beautifully perfect, right? But they can't see it. So it's very important that you believe and know to your core about your own ideas, right? Because it's your dream. It's not theirs. It's your dream with your purpose, okay? And everybody's is different. So don't go to somebody expecting them to understand it, okay? It says, comfort is the worst addiction. Comfort is the worst addiction. Okay. So, excuse me. So, what I'm getting with, it's really sticking out with me, is this like bright idea and investment, right? If you find yourself, you've gotten comfortable in something, right? It's time to get uncomfortable, okay? Right? I'm also hearing it's time to take action. We'll get more information on that. But comfort is not growing. Comfort isn't expanding. Comfort isn't chasing your dreams, okay? I've always said, you know when you're growing, you know when you're moving forward and expanding is when you are uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, you're stuck. If you're uncomfortable, you're moving forward, okay? So this bright idea, right, that someone may want to invest in, because it says innovative new inspiration, right? Maybe, okay, this might be like something you did and then all of a sudden you turned a light on and like, oh my gosh, that's a great idea, right? Oh, I want to invest in that, right? But when it comes in, you're going to be like, whoa, that's going to throw me out of my comfort zone, okay? And Spirit is saying, yeah, it's time, okay? It's time to get out of your comfort zone, because I'm hearing that's where you truly shine, is when you're not in your comfort zone, right? That's when you're standing in your power. And you know, comfort isn't comfortable. It's like a rocking chair. You're not going anywhere. You're not growing. Your life is stagnant, right? And it comes to a point where that comfort zone, or that thing that you're holding on to, is no longer comfortable. It becomes the very thing that's holding you back, right? It becomes and feels like an addiction. You know, stuck, stagnant, thinking you can't release it, right? And this could be anything. It could be like habits, you know, that you're hanging on to for comfort, that sort of thing. Okay? It says, the spiritual warrior knows that true strength lies in the power of the soul. Yeah. And I feel like this is you, right? You know? And what I'm getting with this, comfort is the worst addiction. You know, remember I was telling you, like, people in a box, right? And you came out with a bright idea that's out of the box. I feel I'm talking to somebody who their whole life thinks outside of the box, either creatively or, business-wise, right? You have a higher vision. I'm hearing that as well, right? And other people I feel like other people that saw you or something, saw your idea, is like they want to cling to the comfort of the old, right? When you're trying to bring in new ideas, I'm getting that as well, because I do feel this is you. You are a spiritual warrior. You know that true strength lies in the power of the soul. Yeah, the soul connected to the divine, right? I'm also hearing you've been through it, right? If you're a spiritual warrior, you've been through it, right? And you understand that your soul that's divinely guided and connected leads the way. That's what I'm hearing, right? Says, he who angers you conquers you. Okay? Now, that might have something to do with this, right? Things are going to be turned in your favor. People that were against you all of a sudden will be for you. Okay? And then we have, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. Okay? So, maybe there was some people against you. You may find out who this is, right? You might be angry about this. But don't react, okay? Don't react. Because once you react to the situation, then you give your power away, right? Especially in situations like this, all right? And if you're a spiritual warrior, you know this, okay? You know because you have that higher perspective, you have that divine level of discernment. You can see through people. You can actually, and in some cases, see through their soul, okay? And you understand that your power is in silence. Your power is not reacting, okay? And see it at, you may be upset about this situation, right? But see it, you got to see it from a higher perspective, and it's a reflection of the other person, right? Whatever it is that they did, said, or misjudged. I'm hearing misjudged. Okay? You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Okay? Again, we've got more yellow here. Okay. So, the divine wants you to focus on making sure you're giving that love and affection to yourself, right? Not seeking it out in others. Okay? Because and you probably already know this because you're this spiritual warrior here. Right? Knowing the power of your soul, knowing that true power is giving that love and affection to yourself, right? Because that way you're whole, you're solid, you're healed. You won't settle for less, whether it's job or love or friendship or business opportunities, right? You're standing in your power here. And I'm also hearing the divine is giving you that love too. Okay, I'm hearing that. If people are doubting how far you can go, go so far that they can't hear, so that you can't hear them anymore. If people are doubting how far you can go, go so far that you can't hear them anymore. Yeah, I feel like that's these people. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the reading. They were doubting how far you could go. I'm just hearing like they didn't believe in you, believe in your idea, or didn't believe in the power of your idea, right? But the divine is saying you need to go as far as you can so that you can't hear them anymore, okay? Because they're doubting your idea. It says, every day is a new beginning. Take a deep breath, smile, and start again. Okay. And what I'm getting with this is that it says, focus on what's important to you. Don't give any time or energy to your worries. Maybe you've been worrying about something, right? There's a lot about creativity in here. We have, you are a powerful creator. This is like creating your future. We have creativity in this card. It says, every day is a new beginning. To take a deep breath, smile, and start again. So, if you get those negative energies and worries that want to sneak into the cracks of your positive mindset, every day's a new beginning, right? Release those. Start the day off with attitude of gratitude, doing a morning gratitude prayer, right? And take a deep breath and realize it's a new day, right? And investing that, giving yourself that love and affection to yourself, and not giving any energy to people who are doubting you, okay? And it may or it may not be these people, right? Maybe you have an idea and some people are doubting it. Some people want to invest in it, right? But the ones that want to invest in it are the ones that can think outside the box and have a higher vision. In case you need to hear it, I'm proud of you. Yeah, this is the divine saying, I'm proud of you. Keep going, keep creating, right? This could be a creative project or something that you're doing that's divinely guided. And God is here saying, I'm so proud of you. Okay, they want you to keep going. Don't let the doubters, I'm hearing, don't let the doubters set you back, right? Keep going. For nothing is impossible with God. Luke 1:37. Yes. So whatever you're creating here, whatever this idea is, right? Or this person may want to invest in or whatever. It could be a community as well. Okay? Nothing is impossible with God. You know, and that's why he's so proud of you, whatever you're doing here, right? Maybe you broke out of a comfort zone and you started creating something here based on being the spiritual warrior. And it could be an art project, it could be a YouTube channel, it could be whatever, you know, anything under the sun when it comes to creativity, right? You took that leap, right? And if you haven't, you should. Because there's a lot about creativity here. And don't be afraid to step out of the box, because God is here saying that for nothing is impossible with him. You know, I've said that a lot on this channel. He's the supernatural, right? And if you are following his guidance and you're surrendered, nothing is impossible with him. Nothing. Okay? So don't doubt your ideas, right? Especially if you are being empowered and guided by God to create them, okay? I am a money magnet, okay? So you're going to be a money magnet with this idea. Congratulations, you're a money magnet, right? Yeah, and these people who doubted you, right? You're not going to hear them because you will have far gone past them, right, with this idea. But this creative project, whatever it is, it's bringing the abundance. Look, we have abundance here, we got abundance here, and that you're a money magnet, okay? So, and that's why God is here saying, for nothing is impossible with him, right? And this also could be something that you're manifesting here with this money magnet, okay? Tower. Wow. Okay. So the fact that you're going to turn into a money magnet here, because it came right after this, like, or that somebody wants to invest in this idea may blow you away. Like, what? Like, how much? And what? Right? This could like be a tower moment. And this is where God's like, yeah, remember I told you for nothing is impossible with God here? God is turning you into a money magnet, and it's going to be, it's a tower moment. Like, it's going to shock you how people want to invest in you now, because there's nothing, for nothing is impossible with God. Right? And because of that, this is going to be a shock to you that you're turning into a money magnet here. Okay? So you need to keep going. Okay? And God is guiding you here. Okay? He's guiding you here. I'm also saying he's making a statement. Okay? Always put hope in God. Okay? He's here again. Always put your hope in God, because nothing is impossible with him. He is the supernatural. I've said that over and over. You know, the things that he has done for people who believed, they had faith and believed in their dreams, right? He makes the impossible possible. And you know what's funny is that if you go back to my reading on Friday, okay, there was a Moonology card that I pulled, and it said, believe in the impossible. And this is another confirmation. And I was saying in that reading that God said God wants you to believe in impossible. And right here, it's in it again, right? And I feel like you are. I feel like you're trusting God, believing in the impossible. Okay, a card just totally took off, right? Always putting your hope in God, right? You have your faith and hope in God, and he's so proud of you. You got out of your comfort zone. You're a spiritual warrior. You're invested in some kind of creative project, right? And now you're going to be shocked how it's now turned you into a money magnet, okay? Because you believed in the impossible here. Okay, your abundance is coming in. There's 3 confirmations here. Okay, right? And this could also be that you are shocking other people about your idea. I'm hearing about your truth, right? Of who you are and what you can do. It says, if you don't wake up in the morning excited to pick up where you left your work yesterday, you haven't found your calling yet. Okay. If you don't wake up in the morning excited to pick up where you left your work yesterday, you haven't found your calling yet. Okay. So maybe you've been in a comfort zone or something like that where, you know, you're not excited about your work, right? If, you know, your calling, your passion, your purpose, you know, it will ignite you, right? This is why if you are doing something where you're like, okay, here we go again. I'm waking up and I have to, you know, pick up where I left off yesterday, right? It's you know it's not your calling, right? Because it's just a cycle you're doing, okay? And you've created some kind of creativity, some kind of creative project, right? That got you out of this comfort zone here, right? Okay, that was a confirmation on my computer, but God is here saying that he needs you to believe in the impossible, right? Because he's bringing the impossible here. And the impossible is this idea, this creative project, or whatever you're doing that's a bright idea here. It's your calling, it's your purpose, right? You may not see how it's going to transform, you know, and be a money magnet, but God does. That's why he needs you to believe in the impossible here, okay? He needs you to believe in the impossible, putting your hope and faith in him. Number 12 could be significant. Number 6 could be significant. We also have 1 and 57. 57 is also number 12. So, okay, you need to believe and keep the faith here, right? You know, not letting the doubters and the naysayers, right? Leave them in the past. Keep moving forward, right? Because you know that your strength lies in your soul. And that is what's leading you here, Okay. We have the Page of Swords. Okay. I feel like this is somebody who's been watching you, could be watching your idea or is seeing your idea or seeing your creative project here. I'm hearing they've been looking into you, your project, your ideas, right? I'm also hearing something clicked. It's like a light bulb went on. Oh, wow, okay. That's an idea worth investing in, okay? So maybe, maybe you didn't realize it. You were just doing what you do, but they caught on to something here, okay? Which is why they need you to believe in the impossible here because, what you might think is just ordinary, right? They see, that's what I'm hearing, they see as extraordinary, okay? Let's see. Every woman that finally figured out her worth has picked up her suitcases of pride and boarded a flight to freedom, which landed in the Valley of Change. That's interesting. Okay. All right, let me read it again. Every woman that finally figured out her worth has picked up her suitcases of pride and boarded a flight to freedom, which landed in the Valley of Change. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, so this could be for a woman, or a man who, we don't do gender here, right? Right? But I feel like what you're saying here is like you are interested in taking yourself to freedom and doing the changes that are needed to create that. I think that's really what the message is saying here. And I feel like that may be what's required here. Like, taking this creative idea, someone wants to invest in it or something, right? It's going to take you to your freedom. Like you may have to get on a flight, right? But it's going to land you your freedom, but it's going to require change, like out of your comfort zone here. Success is not just about making money, it's about making a difference. Yeah, and that's the energy you are in, okay? And I feel like, and this is what God wants for you too, right? It's your purpose, your path, right? You're here for impact. You're here to make a difference. And He is walking with you, and that's why He wants you to believe in the impossible, because the impossible is what's going to make the difference here. Right. And I feel like I'm talking to somebody where for you, it's not about the money. It's about making an impact, right? You're this spiritual warrior. And if you've been through it, right? You're like, okay, I've been through hell and back, right? I've learned all the lessons. I have the wisdom. I know the truth, right? And now I'm ready to do something with it to make a difference. And God is walking with you on that path, right? But He needs you to believe in the impossible here. The best is yet to come. Yeah, and interesting, it matches this. I feel like believing in the impossible is bringing the best, right? And realizing that there's something in your life that's not your calling here. Okay? Maybe it's something you hung on to for money or, out of obligation. Okay? But God is taking you to the impossible here. The best is coming, right? It's going to make a difference. It's going to create impact. And it's going to bring you financial abundance. You are turning into this money magnet here, right? Because of your idea. It says, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Okay? When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. This could be your purpose here, right? Sharing your idea may have been created out of love here. Love for making a difference, a love for making change, a love for thinking outside of the box, right? Because you want change. It says it's about making a difference. And it says the world will know peace, right? Changing the world from seeking power and changing that into seeking love, right? I'm hearing powerful impact. That's what I'm hearing. Powerful impact. When the power of love overcomes the love of power. And maybe that's what you're stepping into, right? The love that you offer, right, that has been divinely guided may take you into a opportunity that may get you out of your comfort zone, right? But you're this spiritual warrior that God has been walking with you on, and now it may turn the world into a peaceful place here, or have a peaceful impact. That's what I'm hearing. That's beautiful, right? Because you're here to make a difference. Right? And what I'm hearing, like, this is all black, right? This is, you're here to make a difference in people who are in the dark. That's what I just heard. You're showing people, because all the writing here is in white, right? Which is the light, which is God here, right? He's in the light. But it's like you are here to guide people to the light. That's how you make your difference here, which is going to bring peace. That's what I'm getting. And you're doing it all through some kind of creative project. Okay? And it's going to be different for all of us. We're all on different timelines. Don't tell people your dreams. Show them. Oh my gosh, that's a confirmation. I said that at the beginning of the reading. Don't tell people your dreams, you show them. Maybe that's what you did here, right? You didn't tell anybody about what you were doing here. And then all of a sudden you just poof, you put it out there. And now people are seeing this as a bright idea, and now you're going to be a money magnet, right? Using your spiritual gifts. Maybe you could be a spiritual teacher, but that doesn't have to, doesn't have to be it. It could be anything, artwork, anything creative, because it's talking about creativity here, multiple times. A narcissist doesn't want to discuss their actions. They want to provoke your reactions. That's interesting. So they can use your reactions as distractions from their own actions. Okay, so let's go back to the very beginning here. This one. Okay. So there may be someone coming in who wants to anger you, and they are a narcissist, okay? They want to provoke a reaction. This is why God is saying, don't react, okay? They want to provoke a reaction so it can distract from their action. So somebody took some kind of action, maybe against you, or they did something to turn people against you, right? Which is why these people are looping back around, because there was a narcissist in the situation. Maybe they were trying to turn people against you so that to elevate themselves, right? This person may want to create a reaction out of you, okay? But it's only to distract from their action. So make sure that you honor that silence, right? That you don't, I'm also hearing, don't lower your vibration for this person, okay? You need to keep, because when you trigger and you act out of anger or you act out of reaction, first of all, you give your power away. Second of all, now the focus becomes on you and not them, which is why you just lost your power. But then it also lowered your vibration, right? Now you're on this lower vibration of this person, right? And you know better, right? You've outgrown the level of which this person is operating out of, right? That chooses to stay stuck, stuck and not grow and heal themselves, right? They'd rather go around and provoke other people so that they can point the finger at them instead of themselves, right? It's all projection, okay? Don't allow your reactions, right? Okay? If you're not familiar with the gray rock method, Google it, okay? It works with dealing with people like this, okay? Or just giving them your silence. Okay, keeping those, remember those gates, right? You get to decide who you're going to give your time, your energy, and, your reactions to. Okay, because I'm hearing they want to trigger you. This person wants to trigger you, okay? So don't allow that to happen. All right. We have Earth. Okay. So you could be dealing with an Earth sign, which would be Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. Okay. Or this narcissist could be an Earth sign. Here. Okay? Doesn't have to be, right? But make sure you stay grounded. Earth is all about, about staying grounded, centered, balanced, right? So maybe that's something you need to focus on. Oh, I'm also getting this with this person, okay? You need to stay grounded and centered and non-reactive with this person, okay? Because this person is trying to trigger you, okay? All right. It says, here's another one about suitcases. So maybe you're packing your suitcases. Maybe you're moving. Or maybe you're traveling. But here it says, I told my suitcases that there will be no vacation this year. Now I'm dealing with emotional baggage. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. These are two really funny ones. I've tried to incorporate some funny things in here to make it not so serious all the time. I told my suitcases that there will be no vacation this year, and now I'm dealing with emotional baggage. Which is why you need to take your suitcases, board that flight to freedom, and land in the valley of change, okay? Right? That's super cute. She who is brave is free. Oh my gosh. That's this again, right? We're talking, wings could be significant. Angel wings. She who is brave is free, right? It's like you may get some kind of like opportunity where you have to fly there, right? But it's going to, or you could be moving, but it's going to create change in your life, freedom, right? And it says every woman that finally figured out her worth, right, has picked up her suitcase of pride and boarded a flight to freedom, right? It's like I'm also getting like you're done proving yourself to people, right? You're moving on, getting on that flight, going for your freedom, and being free here. That's what I'm hearing. Being brave and being free. Okay. So, there's a couple of messages here about a woman, but again, it could be a woman, it could be a male. It doesn't, take it how it resonates, okay? But there's someone here that's going to try, maybe you're going to get this job opportunity, right? Or freedom, or something's coming in, an investment, okay? And that's going to trigger this person, a narcissist that's around you, right? I'm hearing they're going to show you their true colors. Maybe they've hidden this. Maybe they kept this hidden. I'm also hearing jealousy, envy here. Okay? This might be somebody you didn't expect this kind of reaction from, but they're going to, I'm hearing mask is slipping. Okay? So just keep that in mind, okay? Right? Look up that gray rock method if you're not familiar with it, because it's very helpful in dealing with these type of people, because they're not interested in understanding you. They're just interested in winning That's it. Okay? And pointing the finger on you, like everything is your fault, right? That projection, right? But what they're saying to you, and this is the thing about narcissists, right? Or people who have these type of tendencies. When they project on you, they're actually talking about themselves. Okay, so when they say, it's all your fault that, I'm just using this as an example, okay, but it's all your fault, I don't have a job and I'm broke and all this. But really, they're talking about themselves. It's their fault, okay? But they don't want to take narcissists, they don't take responsibility for anything. Nothing is their fault. It's everybody else's fault. And that's how that's how they operate, right? Which is why they never grow. Because it's not until you take ownership of your actions and your choices and what you've done to others and responsibility for your wounds and healing those is where you grow and expand, heal, and evolve. But narcissists, they go around blaming everybody and everything for their life, right? But by doing so, they're stuck, never evolving, and emotionally stuck as well. So you may find that they act like children. They could be adults, but they act like children. Tantrums, right? It's because they're stuck, energetically stuck. Their soul is stuck, their heart is stuck, everything's stuck because they don't want to look in the mirror, right? They would rather continue wearing the false mask that they actually believe no one can see right through, okay? All right, so just keep that in mind about that gray rock method. I'm going to get a couple of cards to close up the reading, but if I were you, if you don't have suitcases, you might want to get some, because it looks like, you're going to get that vacation. You're going to get that freedom, okay? And change has arrived, right? To make this impact that you want to make, right? And not allowing anybody who's toxic to keep you from the impossible here that God is bringing in for you. Okay? You're this spiritual warrior. You're meant to lead others. That's what I'm hearing. You're meant to lead others out of their comfort zone. I'm hearing that as well, right? And somebody's going to invest in you so you can make this impact here, because the best is yet to come, right? And whatever's waking you up, making you feel like you have no passion for it, that's not your path. Okay? And don't tell people your dreams, right? You show them. Like I was telling you at the beginning of the reading, okay? So, whoops. Let's get, I'm going to get 2 cards today just to close up this reading. But this is a fun, lighthearted reading. It's, staying focused on your creativity, whatever you're doing, right? It's going to be a money magnet here, okay? And not letting someone who's jealous, envious of what's coming in for you hold you back, right? Okay? Maybe they've decided to stay in their comfort zone, but that's not your fault, right? They need to be looking at themselves because you stepped out. You put yourself out there, right? Believing in your dreams, believing that you could make a difference here, right? With your out-of-the-box ideas. That's what I'm hearing. Some of the people of history, right? Like even that, Thomas Edison created the light bulb, I believe. It's like he couldn't go around and share his idea. I mean, everybody would have thought he was crazy, right? But it changed life as we know it, right? With electricity. So it's like, you've got to believe in the impossible. That's what God is saying here, right? You've got to believe in the impossible, because that's what makes the difference. That's what makes the difference in the world. Bringing peace when people are in darkness, okay? I just heard, you're going to make a statement. That's what I just heard. Your idea is maybe you are going to make a statement, or your idea is going to make a statement, but that's what I just heard. My energy, again, creates my reality. There's a lot about creativity here. We have creativity here, creating here, we have creates here, and then we also had, you are a powerful creator. Okay, so whatever you're creating, you need to keep going, okay? You got to keep going. It says, my energy creates my reality. What you put your focus, your time, and your energy on is what's going to create your reality. So you got to make sure it's positive, it's on your goals, right? It's not full of distractions. People are going to try to distract you away from your dreams, your goals, right? But you have to be able to say, no, not today. No, I can't go to that event. No, I can't do that, right? You got to put your energy into what you want to create your reality into, right? Especially if those people are not in alignment with where you're going, right? Because they're going to pull you away and out of that alignment. What I focus on is what I will manifest. Yeah, that's pretty much what I just said, right? What you focus on is what you will manifest. Okay? And I'm talking to somebody here who put your energy into a creative idea and you put it out in your reality, and now it's bringing in your manifestations, right? You're going to be a money magnet for this idea, this bright idea here, right? And the best is yet to come. And keep being that spiritual warrior, that guide for others. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. Okay. I find deeper meaning and personal growth amongst the discomfort. Okay. And that's about turning pain into power. This also is about getting out of your comfort zone. Getting out of your comfort zone gives you that personal growth and deeper meaning. Right? And also, that comfort zone, right, is also that box mentality, right? Where you think outside that box. It may be uncomfortable, but it's where you thrive. It's what gives you that meaning, that passion, that personal growth. Right? Because I'm speaking to somebody who doesn't find peace in stagnancy, right? You are somebody that constantly is seeking growth, meaning in life, meaning on how to make a difference, meaning on how I can bring peace to the world, right? And God is here saying, yeah, I support it. I support. You want to bring the world more peace? You want to put your idea out there? All I need you to do is believe in me, have faith, and believe in the impossible, because I'm going to make it happen. Okay? But I need you to focus on, putting your energy into your creation, right? And staying positive. And knowing that discomfort is growth, right? If you are not uncomfortable, okay, then you're not growing. Right? And there are seasons, right? You build something, like let's say you build a business and you're out there doing sales, like maybe you've never done sales before, you've never even built a business before. All of that's uncomfortable. Getting out and selling to people, you've never sold anything in your life, that's uncomfortable. But once you get through it, now you're on the other side of that mountain. Now you're comfortable because now you've nailed it. Now you've built that business. Now you can sell anybody to anybody and they buy in, right? So now you've achieved that goal, and now it's comfort. Like you're not uncomfortable doing that anymore. But then God, you step it up to the next thing, right? So and that all creates personal growth. That's why, nothing is ever a failure. I mean, even if you start a business, right, and you've never done a business before, right, and you create it, that makes you uncomfortable because you've never, created a website or any of that, and then you have to get out and sell to someone. You've never done that. That's uncomfortable. And then you actually have to do the business, right? That's another uncomfortable. And then you have to do all the billing and all of the things that come with it, right? That can be uncomfortable because you've never done that and you have to learn how to do all that. But each phase of it is personal growth and you learn about yourself, you learn about what you do and don't want, what you need to change about yourself, your business, everything, right? And even if it's, sometimes things that we start are only stepping stones to something else, but they create growth. Okay, that's why nothing's ever a failure. Especially when you look at into the perspective of what did that teach me? How can I grow from that? How can I take that and apply that to my life to where it becomes powerful change or powerful transformation? Okay. All right, so I'm going to get one more card. And just know the best is yet to come, okay? God is guiding you God is guiding you to the best, okay? And remember, if someone is coming back around to offer you some kind of contract that makes you feel like when you wake up in the morning, you're not excited about it, it's not your calling, okay? You need to believe in God that it's in the impossible, okay? quick results. Okay, so something that you're doing is going to bring in quick results, okay? It could be this new idea, this new investment, where God is taking you to this impossible. You're going to see quick results. We have the rabbit spirit. You could be seeing rabbits, bunnies. If you do, it's just confirmation this is your reading. But it says, move swiftly to realize your dreams and adapt to new situations with grace. Okay, we have move swiftly. So you could be moving. I mean, we're talking about suitcases twice here. And it says, and adapt to new situations with grace. So, and this is valley of change. So, wherever your suitcases are taking you, right, it's going to give you quick results. Right? It's going to bring the change. I'm hearing it's going to bring the change that you're looking for here. Yeah, at the bottom of the deck, it's leap of faith. Jump in fiercely, knowing that every small step counts towards your ultimate success. They want you to take a leap of faith on this. Okay? This is the toad spirit. But you're going to need to take a leap of faith and believe in the impossible here. Okay? And that, you know, for somebody who knows they're a spiritual warrior and that the true strength lies in the power of the soul, which God is guiding you through here, it's like He really needs you to believe in this idea because it's going to bring powerful change. Change that you can't see. Right? Because you chose to think outside of the box here. Okay? All right. That's the message I have for you today on your Monday. Right? Keep creating. That's what I'm hearing. Keep creating. Okay? And get those suitcases. If you don't have any, you need to get some because you're on your way to the valley of change with God's impossible here. So I hope something resonated with you in here. If not, check back tomorrow. I do daily readings Monday through Friday. And please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel because it really helps readings like this get to the people who need to hear it the most, right? That's for them. And until tomorrow, I'm sending you so much love and light, and have a great and wonderful Monday, okay? Take care.